There are specific cancer plans, and these plans cover multiple stages of cancer. Early, major, or advanced, and it includes the cost of diagnostic tests, the treatment, therapies, and the recovery sessions, and also may offer a lump sum kind of a benefit whenever it is diagnosed with the disease.
By 2050, over 35 million new cancer cases are expected to be reported around the world.
No one buys a policy saying that I want a cancer-related policies. They should be worried that whether the cancer is covered or the cancer treatment is covered within the policy. Cancer treatment is a prolonged one, so please look after your sum insured that you are buying.
Hello, and welcome back to Insurance Junction, your go-to podcast for everything insurance. This is a podcast series by HDFC ERGO General Insurance, India's leading general insurance company, and I'm your host, Avanne Dubash. Here's a fact disguised as a warning. A survey in 2022 revealed that roughly 1 in 9 people in India will likely be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Appalling, right? In fact, each one of you will know someone in your circles who's either battled or succumbed to cancer. We headed to the streets to actually ask people simple questions about the types of cancer coverage, the importance of the critical illness riders. Let's see what they had to say.
आई थिंक सो मैंने मेरे जानकारी के हिसाब से कोई कोई करता है कोई नहीं करता.
इसके विषय में मैडम आप लोग जानकारी नहीं है.
नहीं पता.
False, definitely false. There's a special policy, I guess, for that.
It is now. I think I don't have that much knowledge, but it is not covered. I think.
मिलेगा.
नहीं मिलेगा.
Not sure about this.
You know, it's not surprising that despite the growing awareness of cancer, many people remain unaware of how their health insurance can support cancer treatment expenses. And let's be honest, this is a topic that many shy away from or just don't want to address head on: cancer and the cost of treatment. With the rising number of cancer cases, a person is just one illness away from blowing off all their savings and moving into debt. It is very important to be financially prepared for such fatal diseases with health coverage. Protection from cancer treatment costs demands additional health insurance cover above the standard health insurance. So on this episode, we will break down how cancer coverage works, the different types of coverage available, and why understanding critical illness riders could be a game changer when it comes to managing your financial well-being during a health crisis. And joining us on this episode, as always, is Parthanil Ghosh. He's the Director and Chief Business Officer at HDFC ERGO General Insurance. Partha, good to have you as always.
Hello, Avan.
All right, let's dive into it. And cancer, one usually, of course, thinks of the horrible medical repercussions and then the horrible medical bills, because those are startling. So I think in today's episode, we want to break down a little bit more about how health insurance can actually support cancer treatment costs, the types of cancer coverage, and the importance of the critical illness riders as well. So let's get straight to it in Insurance Junction. All right, so Partha, let's start off with the data points because it's actually quite startling. The data that reveals that by 2050, over 35 million new cancer cases are expected to be reported around the world. What do people need to do to make sure that they are prepared and have the adequate health insurance?
Avan, this is a very, very pertinent question and a topic, and thank you for raising it. So, as far as cancer is concerned, the one policy that covers cancer, apart from any other diseases, are comprehensive health insurance policies. We have been speaking about it for the last few episodes, and I do not want to just repeat it. However, specifically for cancer, there are specific cancer plans, and these plans cover multiple stages of cancer. early, major, or advanced, and it includes the cost of diagnostic tests, the treatment, therapies, and the recovery sessions, and also may offer a lump sum kind of a benefit whenever it is diagnosed with the disease. In these policies, it can be including the pre-existing condition of cancer. There are policies available which includes pre-existing diseases. Apart from these two, the comprehensive health insurance and specific cancer-related hospitalization covers, one may also choose a critical illness cover. And within critical illness, these are benefit covers, means at the time of disease when someone is contracted and someone finds out I have cancer, at that point of time they are paid a lump sum benefit. And this also helps to maintain their lifestyle and all the agonies that comes along with the cancer detection.
Okay, understood. But it's at a time like this that you don't want to suddenly, get some information that the coverage does not include certain things. Of course, the coverage will differ from one insurer to another. But I understand that there are certain situations as well that cancer insurance policy does not offer coverage. Would you like to walk us through those?
All, as I mentioned, that based on the regulation in India, all policies, all comprehensive health insurance policies do cover cancer treatment.
Okay.
However, if the cancer was pre-existing and not disclosed properly within the first 5 years, that's the mandatory period, and so then if that is there, then it is not covered. Or some of the very, very advanced treatments like an immunotherapy or a robotic surgery may not be covered in specific policies. So I would request everyone, before buying a policy, they should check this, whether their policies are covering advanced treatments of cancer, which can be immunotherapy or robotic surgery. Apart from that, all policies covered, but someone should also check the exclusion period and the waiting period for cancer treatments.
Okay. So apart from that, we were talking about how these healthcare costs, especially with diseases like this, can really drain one's financial savings. So what is it that a person needs to do or look into when you're taking a policy specifically for something like cancer?
So, Avan, the first thing I would like to say that no one buys a policy saying that I want a cancer-related policies. They should be worried that whether the cancer is covered or the cancer treatment is covered within the policy. Because I really do not know whether after 5 years or 10 years I'll be detected with cancer or any other kind of a disease, or I'll be completely fit. So very important is to see whether the cancer treatments are covered in the policy. However, at the end of the day, if I am worried because of some family history or somewhere else, I should also buy a critical illness policies, which covers cancer treatment and a payment of a lump sum whenever it is detected.
Now, Partha, when it comes to a disease like cancer, unfortunately, it's not a one-time cost. The treatment is ongoing, for instance, when you start chemotherapy. So how do insurance companies provide for this?
And thank you, Avanne, for bringing it up. Unlike other diseases, this is not a one-time treatment. It continues for years after years. We have policyholders within our company, within HDFC ERGO, who are continuing with their chemotherapy sessions for the last maybe 3-4 years. And some of them, of course, are coming out of it. They are the cancer survivors. But for policyholders, these are the two things I would like to mention. Cancer treatment is a prolonged one. So please look after your sum insured that you are buying. Okay. So the sum insured should not be very small. With today's kinds of a medical inflation of around 10 to 14%, you should have an adequate cover to take care of a prolonged treatment and also the advanced treatments like an immunotherapy or some advanced therapies. The secondly, on the chemotherapy and the radiotherapy sessions. Now, what we have seen, Avan, that typically the doctors prescribe for a 6 sessions or 8 sessions at some point of time for the patient. Earlier, they used to come back for a cashless approvals to us, to HDFC ERGO, every time of the 6 or 8 times. And that is a normal norm in the industry. So we challenged that. We said the patient to take care of their own treatment rather than to come back again and again to the insurance companies. So what we have started a pre-approved cashless for critical illness patients, chronic disease patients like cancer, and we give a one-time approval all the 6 or 8 sessions which the doctors have prescribed to these patients. So this has given a tremendous amount of convenience to the policyholders, to the chronic patients, and to their family members, so that they can devote their entire time for the treatment and rather not to do the paperwork with the insurance companies.
And I think that peace of mind is what so many people want, especially at a stressful time like this. Is it preferable for someone who's maybe looking to get treatment overseas to get a critical illness rider on their policy, or is there some sort of a separate insurance plan that they can look at getting?
This depends on affordability.
Okay.
If for any kind of diseases, I can go abroad and get treated. Actually, we have our Optimus Secure Global Health Plus insurance policy, which you can go abroad and get treated not only for emergency kind of a situations, but for a planned hospitalization as well.
Okay.
So for cancer related treatments as well, one can take that treatment abroad. But apart from that, what you mentioned about critical illness policies actually gives us a benefit lump sum at whenever it is detected. However, please check the survival period, because in critical illness policies, there is always a survival period clause, which means that after detection of a particular disease, in this particular case cancer, one should survive for a minimum number of X days.
Okay. Partha, it's been so eye-opening as always. I think this is a topic that not many want to discuss, but it is very important to actually open your eyes and understand how you can better be covered. So thank you for that. But you know the flow that we now move on to our next segment, which is it's playback time. We've got lots of questions from the audience. So let's get straight to it. Are you ready?
Yes, Avanne.
Our first question then, and this was received on the Instagram handle at HDFC ERGO GI. It's from Fez Muhammad. And he asks, is a cancer plan only more relevant when you have a family history? And if not, is it better to first buy a critical illness plan, given that regular plans also do cover cancer? And what is the advantage of getting a specific plan?
Thank you, Faiz. I think what you wanted to mention that you already have a comprehensive health insurance policy. So in order to take care of the worries of a cancer treatment and the cost, one should buy a critical illness policies which also cover cancer.
Okay, that's good to know. And Faiz, I hope we were able to answer your question. Let's get a move on then. Neeta Menon has written into us and she says, are there any specific insurance products in India that are tailored to cover the more expensive cancer treatments like immunotherapy or targeted therapies?
Yes, Nita, there are policies available which covers the immunotherapy or the robotic surgeries or some advanced kind of therapies. Please check your health insurance plan to see whether there are any kind of restriction on advanced treatments. And specifically, you may ask your insurer whether their cancer treatment covers these treatments for reimbursement or cashless.
All right, I hope we got that question answered for you, Neeta. Let's get a move on. And this is a question from someone who wishes to remain anonymous. He says, I'm 32 years old and I don't think that I need a cancer coverage right now. But if I do add a critical illness rider to my insurance policy, does it only cover cancer or does it include some of the other more serious illnesses as well?
Any critical illness insurance policy covers a multiple critical illnesses, which also includes cancer. So if someone is worried about cancer, they can buy a typical critical illness policies or specifically cancer related critical illness policies. Both are available, but I would always advise someone to buy the comprehensive critical illness policy so that it covers all the critical illnesses. As I was mentioning, Avan, I really do not know whether after 5 years
Yeah.
what kind of diseases at all will be detected with.
Well, I hope we got your question answered. And Partha, thank you so very much for that. Really answering all of those questions and giving us more insights as to what the importance is of cancer coverage. So it's clear that understanding cancer coverage and the critical illness riders is crucial because this really protects you from high treatment costs. So don't wait, review your options, add the right coverage, and ensure that you are prepared for whatever comes your way. Thank you for tuning in. Do stay informed because your health is your most valuable asset. And for all my lovely audiences out there, if you've got a question in mind about health insurance, do write into us. You can slide into our DMs on @HDFC ERGO GI. Send us your question. We'll get it answered in the playback segment in the next episode. If you've got a doubt, say it out. Well, that's my cue to exit. I will see you guys in the next episode of Insurance Junction, a podcast series by HDFC ERGO General Insurance, India's leading private sector general insurance company. Till then, get insured, stay assured. This is your host, Avanne Dubash, signing out. Hey guys, you know the drill. To never miss an episode, hit the bell icon. If you want to stay abreast with all the insurance news, subscribe to our channel, HDFC ERGO, right here on YouTube. And if you want to listen to the audio episode, it's available on all audio streaming platforms.